It's Ebro In The Morning, Laura Styles, Rosenberg, JT on the program. The solo movement is here. Yeah. The big album's out. Mm-hmm. I gotta tell you, I'm hearing a lot of positive feedback from rap fans.
Thank you.
Men and women, because you're talking greasy on the album. The beats is hard on the album. Say again?
It's a mixtape.
Oh, it's a mixtape. It's not an album.
It's not an album.
No. Hold on. But it is a bunch of new songs with features properly done, but it's a mixtape.
Yeah.
And it's a great cover, so it's easy to confuse because you did a good job.
Thank you. I know.
Wait,
right?
what? Why is it?
She doesn't want it to be called, because that would be the debut album, right? JT, it's not the debut album yet.
No, it's not.
This is you just getting a little taste.
Be a professional, for God's sake.
Taste.
Yes, this is like an introductory, like identifying myself and just like showing people who I am. I won't call it an album, you know.
Got it. Okay, so and is that because you feel now that it's just JT, you doing your solo thing, you want people to get to know you?
Yeah. I feel like people, sometimes we think we're bigger than what we are. And it's like just doing the groundwork and letting people know who I am. Like putting out music that people can just hear me for.
Was that something you had to realize? You thought you was farther along in your career because of the work with the City Girls and you wanted to like reset?
Yeah, because like I could say for the past couple of years, we weren't putting out as much music, but we were still popular on Instagram and shit like that. And then I just wanted to take a step back and just push for it, which is letting music kind of be the face of me, you know?
Mm-hmm. How, because it was the City Girls, then you had to go away for a while. Mm-hmm. Then when you came home, it was like you needed some time to find yourself.
Yeah.
How was that transition of coming back after dealing with your legal stuff?
Well, it took a while. I'm in a great place right now, but it took a while. When I got out, I literally went to the halfway house for a couple months. I always tell this story, so if you know me, you know this. And then in March, I was like able to be, out. And then COVID hit. So I really never got to jump back in it all the way, like both feet. It was
how
just
long
like,
have you been gone again?
I did 15 months in, but then I had to do 5 months. So in a total,
20 months.
20 months.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's that. And correct me if I'm wrong on the timeline, but y'all kind of really took off during that time when you were gone, right?
Yeah.
Because it's sort of interesting. It reminds me of the Migos in a way as well, right?
Yeah.
Like you're gone, and then you get out, and
it's already big.
It's
like because Act Up was around that time.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh, I'm out. But then you had to go to the halfway house, where I'm guessing. So when you were at the halfway house, you were able to feel what was going on. You just couldn't participate.
I couldn't participate because the thing about the halfway house, I was not supposed to be on the internet. I still do it. I couldn't shoot a video. I couldn't do anything for real. Like
Didn't
a lot of people
try to
didn't.
shoot a video in the van on the way to the halfway house. Didn't that happen?
No, we did shoot it, but
did?
no, not an actual music video. It was like a part of the little docu-series we was doing in the beginning. But no, like I think our first song together was You Tried It, and we didn't have a music video to it because it was like I couldn't shoot music videos. It was like hella strict. So once that time had passed and March had came along, COVID had done hit, and it was just like a lockdown thing. And I just remember being really, really depressed, and my family drove to Atlanta to pick me up because I was in such a like sad place, and I was still on probation, but I was like, I can't take it. Like I literally need to get out of Atlanta. I need to see my family. I haven't saw my family yet. Nothing. Like, and so they picked me up and I went down there for a little bit. And it just felt like a deserted island for like a long time. Like when I got out, like I didn't know which way to go. Like it was like, even when putting out the music, I could say myself, I didn't know who the fuck I was because I had just got out. Like I was like lost mentally, like lost. Ooh, I was
Well, and either way, I mean, you young 20s. So most young 20-year-olds don't really know which way they want to go at 22, 23 years old, even if they not going through all the shit y'all was going through. You know what I'm saying? Like, we meet artists all the time that are still trying to figure out.
How old do you think I am?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I thought you was like 25, 26.
Aw, that's...
You think that I'm 25, 26?
How old are you?
I'm not
She's
telling you now.
53 years old.
I'm not telling you now. Like, I'm not going to tell you, but you was so confident.
Yo,
that
I'm super confident. I thought
you
you
was so
Hold on, by the way, I
confident.
just want to say for the record,
What?
as he was saying that, I was like,
Like,
I don't think
yeah.
she didn't. I mean, they didn't come out at 17 years old.
No, but I still thought it was like 22, 23.
That's very. I think that's. Aren't you flattered as a? Lady?
Yeah, I'm very
Don't
flattered.
tell me thank you then.
Thank you. Thank you. But now I'm
You're still young, though.
Because
But you're
now
still
I'm
young.
on him because I'm like, what you mean? Like he trying to
See?
yeah.
Don't
No.
fall for shit.
Now I'm on
Listen,
you because
don't
I'm
fall
like
for the shit,
No,
bro.
the timeline just didn't add up to me exactly.
okay, the timeline. Okay.
And by the way, you're still young. The point
The
remains.
point
Finding
is most
yourself
people
is,
in their 20s
yeah.
are still working
On their self.
on themselves
I want to
and
say
figuring out
now
what they-
how the world is going, people in their 30s are too, 40s
go.
and 50s. Everybody's just the same age.
But doesn't it kind of is interesting though, because a lot of people when they get out of jail, the reemergence is obviously really complicated, right? But because you then went into this lockdown, by the time the lockdown ended, you were coming out of it with the rest of the world. Was that helpful in any way? Like, were you able to sort of have maybe a little bit of an easier transition? Because everybody was coming out of a weird lockdown by the time we got out.
I want to just say, like, after COVID, I feel like the world just became a different place. It's so chaotic. Everybody is different. It's nobody the same after COVID. Like, that was a traumatizing experience. And it was a good experience to some people. So now they're in a funk because, you know, in pandemic, it was so much money
Right.
moving around for certain people. And then a lot of people lost people. So I just think that when we left out of that, everybody was just different. Everybody changed. But I was still fucked up from my sentence. And then, like, even when trying to put out music, it always seemed so bumpy. It was like a leak, or it'd be like, it wasn't matching no more. It wasn't how it was. It wasn't as smooth as it was when I first came out, when it was only a certain amount of people who knew me and people were getting it. But people didn't always get it, though. When I'm not going to lie, when I first came out, when we first came out, people didn't get it, but the people who were supposed to get it got it and gravitated to it. But you also had people saying this was trash and this was a mess, but it was not as many people as it was when I got out. And like, it was so many people telling me, writing me daily, like, oh, you missed it. The peak was act up. So it was like, damn, like, was the peak act up? Like, am I not going to be able to feel that rush of, like, being on top? Because act up was such a huge song. So I get messages from, like, Twitter when I first got out. And I wasn't used to that because before I went in, I knew a few people that are troll. But once I got out, it was more of a mass amount of people just bringing up what was going on while I was in and saying, like, oh, you missed the peak. And, like, oh, it's over with. And it's da-da-da-da. And I heard that for a while. You know?
That's a scary feeling.
Yeah.
To think like I did all this and it happened and I missed it.
Yeah. So it
It's
was just
also coming out of not being glued to your phone like we are now.
yeah.
And taking in so much information to all of a sudden it's like a tidal wave hitting at you.
Yeah. It's too
How
much.
did that affect you mentally?
Girl, I used to be clowning. I used to be clowning, like, just on the internet, just going back and forth all day, like, literally just talking shit with them, believing them. Like, sometimes you just got to get out of that phone. Like, you have to get out of that phone because, and I know it sounds cliche, but it's too much information today. You'll wake up and you'll wake up feeling great. You'll wake up feeling blessed. You'll open that motherfucking phone, a motherfucker tell you some shit, and how you thinking, like, hold on.
Is that real?
Is that right? Like, did I not do a good job? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just have to, I'm in a place mentally where I feel like I'm back in my beginning. So I'm like, I remember when I first started and people didn't get it, but the people who were supposed to get it got it. So I wanted to reintroduce myself in that way because there's a lot of people, like, they love the project. Overall, my response for my project has been a 10-10. Like, everybody felt like it's a great body of work, cohesive, and, you know, they can't believe that it's
Beats
just
are great. What you're talking about is great.
yeah.
I even find myself getting upset because, you know, we often hear, you know, hip-hop people, pundits, people who got opinions talking about authenticity, right? And so then here you have this rapper named JT comes out, and we know she's authentic. Like, the thing she's talking about in the songs is really some shit that she knows people who did it or she did it herself.
Right. She's been close to
And
it.
everybody's acting like this is the type of product we get all the time. We don't get this all the time. It's pretty. It's telling because now you have authenticity with great music and great rapping ability, and there's people who are real quiet, and it's interesting.
Right. And then they say, then you got the people that say, oh, I don't like it. It's too slow, or it's too this, it's too that. And then I was like, I feel like that come from a place of like what we've been fed these days, you know, like up tempo and quick and in and out microwave. Like it's like nobody living. Because I grew up in a time like, and this might be an age telling thing. I grew up in a time where like it was CDs and I would live with it for so long. Like I knew a CD from front to back because I lived with it. And I didn't know too much about numbers and shit like that because if you was my favorite artist, you just my favorite artist and I'm gonna know that project from front to back. I feel like they are turning us into single artists. You get what I'm trying to say? Like it'll be they want everything we do to be banging or like TikTok to gravitate to it because right now my song that's growing the biggest on my project is not even one of my favorites, but who's catching on to it? It's like the TikTok people. It's like
Which
JT
one
coming.
is that?
It's JT coming.
JT coming is hard though.
Thank you. I love it, but it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite.
What's
you
your
get
favorite?
me? My favorite will be probably like Hope, Serving,
Brick Talk.
Oh
I
my
love
God.
90s Baby.
Brick
Talk. I love 90s Baby. I love
Yeah.
90s Baby, but Brick Talk is number 2 for a reason. That is my song. I love Brick Talk. When I first
I need like a good. If this is a mixtape, I need another mixtape that's all brick. Like 7 records, it's just all brick
Talk. Okay, I can do that.
Because I know you're playing the game with the 90s babies and all of that to get the radio play and the R&B
Yes.
samples and but
You need Brick
there's
Talk.
not a lot of women who rap that can do that authentically.
Yes, and you just heard, it's like storytelling. I think that was my favorite thing about this project. It's like storytelling and being able to push out my lyrics and like explain myself all the way through the project, like articulate myself. Like, okay, this is what I'm saying and this is what we doing and this is the storyline. But and just being clear, like that's all I wanted to do was like be clear. But Brick Talk is my song.
So I really started, back when Coach K had sent me, I think he sent me Take Your Man back in the day, right? Which was the old school beat, right?
Yeah, that's a fan favorite.
How to Pimp a Nigga though, and Fuck on You, I think, and maybe Movie,
And those are cuts.
and Millionaire Dick.
I love Millionaire Dick.
So does Ebro.
No. What I heard in those records though was don't listen. What I heard in those records though was what you're talking about. It wasn't just we got a couple of catchy phrases. Like you were doing full stories about getting over on dudes, hustling, scamming, swipe, all the shit.
Yeah, it was a
that you've
storyline.
Done.
A lot of different life.
But it was done well.
Yeah.
And so that's the real shit I was excited about. And I'm glad we got that on this project.
Yeah. Thank you. Like I didn't want to. My goal wasn't for it to sound like a bunch of singles. Like you just named nothing but deep cuts. Like you have to be a City Girls fan to know those songs because like those are not the singles. You know what I'm trying to say? So I didn't want my project to sound like a bunch of singles, even though everybody loving them all. But I just wanted for people to say Brick Talk my favorite song, and you could put somebody up on Brick Talk without them taking a piece of it. Because now when I go places and like a certain song blow up, I go and I be seeing it and they won't know it's the motherfucking song until they get to the catchy part.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? It's just all fucked up. But I'm glad that you like it.
It
Brick
sounds
Talk.
like you were also influenced. You now have replicated what you used to listen to because you get a CD, and when it was $15 is a lot of money for a CD, or however you get your CD, you're excited to have it. You're gonna wear the hell out of that
Was
thing.
you buying CDs?
1 through 15.
Well, me, yeah.
You was a CD buyer?
I was a CD buyer. My dad used to buy me CDs when I was a little girl, and then when I got older, my last CD was probably in 2000 and streaming was out, but they were still selling CDs at a certain time. And I remember working at Whole Foods, and it was like a Target next door. And I don't even want to say the person's name. It's a guy, but I walked over to Target to go get the CD, but streaming was out at the time, and this person was like huge to me. And this before the internet played a role into what artist you listening to, like you
No algorithm.
Algorithm, like you listen from your heart. And then I went over and I got that CD. Like I didn't play about CDs because I had an Ultima Coupe, I had a CD player. I had an aux too, but like Apple Music was a little expensive.
Ultima was moving around.
The Ultima was mute. The Ultima
You had a nickname
was
for the
moving.
Ultima? Didn't have a name?
No. Oh, Storm. When I first got it, but I didn't call it that. That shit was, my car was on the move, mouthed up.
JT, I also love how unafraid you've always been with your looks.
Thank you.
I think it's very brave because I know a lot of people sometimes don't get it when you've done really artistic photo shoots and you take chances. And sometimes it can be annoying because people will talk shit. And I've seen you pop off. But
just for them to try it later.
But just talk about how, what influenced you to take the fashion risks that you have and the creativity that's gone into your photo shoots.
Well, when I first, when me and my boyfriend first got like really official, like I remember him like putting me on like a whole outfit and I was going the fuck off on him. Like, boy, I look like Batman if you don't take this shit off. If you don't take this shit off. And I remember being on the plane ride just quiet the whole time. Like I'm really in somebody's backyard in a full runway outfit. Like, he like, this is how you gonna be dressed every day. And I'm like, boy, it's like a time and a place. So then moving along, I kind of adapted to that. And then I met my friend Monica. I've always been into makeup. So then I was like, I did my birthday shoot and I dyed my eyebrows blonde, my makeup artist out there. And she dyed my eyebrows blonde because I wanted to do it with concealer. And I remember when I dropped it, everybody was like going to fuck nuts because like they never seen blonde eyebrows on a hood bitch before. And it really, broke the internet. And it was like bad in a bad way. Like Eden to say, like, I thought we was never gonna work together again because they was like calling me all type of names. So moving on from that, my friend Monica, I met Monica. She died in a car accident, but she took me to my first fashion show in Paris, and she took me to Mugler. Shout out to Mugler. They was the first brand to like pay for me to go out. And when I went there, I didn't have a stylist, so she was just like, be yourself, like do your own style. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do black, but I went to pick my own outfit, and then I did a lip, like this little lip thing, and then that went viral. Like, so it,
in a good way,
in a great way. Now that one went viral in a great way. It was living down, and then over time, it's like now I know myself authentically to be able to mix my style and that style and the style that my man gave me and mix it all together. So now it's my style because I put it all the way. Now I don't look like I'm in a costume and I don't look uncomfortable.
That's dope though.
I love that. Yeah.
Do you who's Uncle Al?
Uncle Al is a DJ from Miami. He died. He
Rest in
did.
peace, Uncle Al. Cause that record on there is fire. I'm glad you did that record.
Yeah. I'm a big, huge fan of Uncle Al. I always went to the Peace in the Hood festivals that we used to have for him because he got killed at his house. Somebody knocked on his door and shot him. So they started throwing this like festival, I won't call it a festival, parade on 15 Ave. 15 Ave, that's where he used to live, like in Sugar Hill and shit. So as a little girl, I used to always go there because it's be like, how the big DJ things set up, and then you walk down the street, sound systems and shit. You get to buy your food, and I remember I took a picture with Jackie O. Now she was at Miracle. I used to chase her down, but all of like the local rappers from Miami would be there, and like you could see them if you walk from the Poker Beans, like that back way. So it was a big part of my childhood. And then my first time, he was big on underground radio. So he used to do this thing where you can dial in and you can ride on the radio and introduce yourself. So my daddy used to never let. Of course, I'm a kid. He like, you cannot be on underground radio because you could hear curse words and shit on there. You get the late night storm, the freaky songs, and all type of shit. So I was like, when I get older, I'm gonna ride on the radio with Uncle Al. So I think of like my 5th birthday or whatever. Like my 5th birthday, he had finally was like, oh, you can... No, this wasn't my 5th birthday. I was a little older, but I was still young. Like, I was still a kid. So when he was like, I got a surprise for you. You can ride on the radio. So I was like, for real? I already had my shit down off the top of my head.
What
And then my daddy,
spit that shit.
it was like this, like, cause he used to be like, what's up, y'all? What's it gonna be? Who's on the hour with your homie IV? I say J to the A to the TIVIA. I'm in the house, and your girl don't play. And then he'll say, where you from? Then you gotta say where you from, and you say who you represent. And my daddy couldn't stand my mama, right? So at the end, after the whole thing, I was like, my mama just turned it out. And he was like, oh, with the roll call. And everybody was screaming, like, you really know how to ride on the radio. And then after that, my daddy was like on me about making music. But because I was in a group when I was a kid, like the proteges with my sisters and brothers. But I just always had it like off at the top of my head, like to be able to just go out there and do it. But that was like the best birthday ever. And I called my daddy the other day because me and him don't have a good relationship. But I called him because I want him to get it. Because he used to film everything. So he was like, he going to give it to me, like my first time ever being able to like do the Uncle Al thing. Because I'm a huge fan of Uncle Al. But he's dead now.
And there's video of the...
Yeah. It's video.
Wow.
It's video.
So
Yeah, when I was a little girl.
That's
Like, I always been into underground. I was more of an underground radio. But I was a big fan of, like, Big Lip Bandit and Super Cindy and stuff, too. Because that was, like, who I used to listen to on the way to school every day. 99 Gems, of course. And this was before, like, 103.5 and all them started, like, doing their thing. But I was an underground radio
So
girl.
did you hear Khaled when he was doing underground radio, too?
He was on playing dance hall back
Yeah,
then.
Yeah.
Because that was...
Yeah.
You knew him only when he got
499
bigger on
Jam.
the...
I knew Khaled when he kind of started doing like the shit with Ace Hood and all of that.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah. That's the
that's
next
when-
era.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah. I wasn't listening.
When he was doing
underground
that was
too?
when he was on 99 Jam.
Yeah, when he popped out and he was doing great things in the community, making them big ass records, and like I was so hyped to be from Miami around that time because it was like we was coming out with Khaled was putting out them jams, and it was like
That was a big moment for Miami, too. That's the
Yeah.
emergence of Ross. There's a lot of different stuff right around that time.
yeah, huge Ross fan.
The your love of rap and making dope records. As you this mixtape, excuse me, that's out right now. Excuse me. When do we get an album? Is that in the plans yet? Have you figured that
Yeah,
out?
I'm thinking about top of next year. I'm kind of like, I don't want to I don't want to stop. I want to just keep growing. So I don't want to wait too long. I want to be like top of next year if I can.
And I noticed too, you stay away from a lot of bullshit. Like you address shit direct on social media. Like if you feel like somebody acting shady, you be like, yo, you being shady or what?
I'm trying
okay,
to
we good. Okay.
change.
No, but I feel like that's better than, because it feels like shit gets worked out when you do that. Like I've seen you on social media multiple times like, yo, so we're not good? Wait, you wasn't acting that way when I saw you last time. What? Oh, okay, so we're good. All right, and then you move on. You be like, nah, and then you talking to your fans. Is that, how do you make sure you stay out all that? Because it seems today, when you look at what gets popular on social media, it's always somebody getting into it with someone else. How are you going to stay out of all that shit? Because I know you don't really like doing that type shit. You don't know. You don't do your best.
I'm gonna think about that. Can we come back to that question?
Because you're not sure yet.
I ain't sure. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm not sure. But it's just not worth it. It takes so much from you through a phone. Like, and you do it, and then you feel disgusted about yourself after. I don't think it's one person who have not had an argument over social media that don't feel like a clown after they do it.
That's such a great point.
It's just like, after you do it, it'd be like, what was the point? Like, and 9 times out of 10, it's no fucking point. It's just that people are feeling the way they feeling for whatever reason. But it's just like, you get done, you finish arguing, and then you have to go on about your day. Now you look stupid because that's not even a person that's a part of your day.
And you end up, what I thought is, you end up, not you, we all, myself included, you end up showing your insecurities to the whole world. Because the thing that was said that triggers you, by you showing, blah, 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 now you're showing everyone like, oh, now I know how to get after that person. They clearly were in their feelings about it.
Yeah.
Whereas if we just waited maybe like 60 seconds on that initial reply, maybe you never even send it.
If you don't say nothing, it dies down faster. It leaves faster. It leaves people clueless. People don't know. Nobody knows anyways. Everybody think they know. So if you just leave it as that in your mind, like, hey, they don't know what they're talking about.
But, man, I ain't going to hold you. Good, shut the fuck up. I slap the shit out of you. You feeling good, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, because I do it all the
But
time.
then you say, shut the fuck up. I slap the fuck out of you. And then that person come back and they talk about your mom, your dad, your family, your man, your auntie, your uncle. Now you got to defend 5 motherfuckers when it's supposed to be between me and you.
Right.
And they come back at you, yo nigga, and I be like, oh, now I gotta kill you. And then it's just too much. That's why sometimes it's better ignore it, because it's never gonna be between you and the person. They're gonna try to hit you where it hurt, because it's not much a bitch can say about me. So it's just like,
Right.
But
how having a public relationship has its ups and downs. How have you guys been managing that?
we cool.
It feels like y'all have kind of, and I guess we see this with celebrities a lot, right? Like there's the initial kind of like, oh, so it's together. And then after a while, everybody just get used to it. It's not even a conversation no more. It feels like y'all have entered that kind of like.
We done been together for a minute. We live together. I see him every day. That's my friend. That's my everything. Like, it's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the norm.
But that's happiness.
Like, that's just it's
happiness.
the norm now. It ain't for, like, you put your relationship on the front line and it's everybody's business. And they always try to, like, talk what they don't know and separate people. You can't show people too much of your relationship and your happiness, because then they're going to try to tear that down and, like, snatch it down. Like, bitch, I saw him last week with a bitch. And it's just like, girl, not today.
Why are we opening up to other people to be in our relationship?
Yeah, like,
so I guess we should probably play the single, 90s Baby, right? Because that's what you've decided is the single. But we gotta get into somebody that lemon pepper.
I love lemon pepper.
I hit the DJs up here the other day. I said, y'all suck. Y'all not playing this Uncle Al record. Because the Uncle Al record is old school beat, crowd response, all that. DJs, I sent it to like 5 different DJs up here.
Thank you.
Y'all suck. How come y'all ain't
Well,
got
let's do the right thing and play it right now.
Let's play this Uncle Al. I want to play, but we got to play. The label done brought her up here. We got to do the whole, help the single thing.
Oh my, okay, so 90s.
I like 90s, baby.
90s,
So let's
you want to know?
play it. We
We can play both. So let's do Uncle Al. I mean, let's do 90s Baby. I like everybody. You want to know something? What I'm surprised about with 90s Baby is, before I even said it was a single, everybody liked the song. It was in their top. In it's all ages. You got the 90s Baby feeling they self. You got the kids saying they 90s babies. It's just good. And I feel like it's going to be it's a radio record.
No, it is.
It fits perfectly.
You're right.
It fits perfectly.
Let's get into it. JT, we appreciate you. City Cinderella. Great album. Thank you for coming by. Great mixtape. Mixtape.
And she's hitting the road.
What's up with the tour?
It started in Kansas City on March, April, May, June. Okay, let me start over. It starts in Kansas City on August 20th.
All right, there you go. 21.
You taking anybody with you?
As of right now, I don't know who I'm gonna take with me.
Okay.
I don't know who I'm gonna take with me, but I know that my
She's watching,
Judy's gonna be
see if
there.
anybody start acting fucking funny.
And
Then-
whoever it
then
is
you
somebody
not
who got
going.
to turn up.
Then you're not going.
Yes. But we excited. This is a new start for me, so I'm pretty sure that me and all my supporters is very excited to just come and have a good time. It's gonna be a good time.
Let's get into it. City Cinderella. We also got to play that OK remix with Jeezy. I know that was a big deal for you to get Jeezy. You was a big Jeezy fan back in the day, I can tell.
Yeah. Jeezy was running the South.
You bought Jeezy CDs before?
Did I buy Jeezy CD
Yeah.
before?
Did it make the Ultima? That's the question.
Did it make
Was it in the Ultima?
Jeezy was in his mixtape era. So how the fuck did I used to listen to Jeezy? CDs, of course. But I'm not gonna lie. It was heavy bootleg going on.
I'm about to say that might have been burned from
was very
a CD-ROM
burned.
joint.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, Jeezy. Like, it was very bootleg era that around that time. Like, I would be a liar to sit up here and be like, oh yeah, because baby, it was bootleg city in Miami. Man, we used to get the bootlegs and had the big books and it be renting out for us on a CD-ROM. And you go get it from Walgreens.
CD-ROM.
Yeah,
Wow.
CD-ROM.
Yo,
Someone had a burner.
And you got your burner.
Yo,
We
you
had
could
a
buy that burner for like $2,500 back in the day and run like 50 CDs off that joint.
No, we just mean the basic one that you had in your computer.
Oh,
that
Yeah,
no,
you
I
put
had
it on
the-
the
I had
computer.
the machine joint.
Oh yeah, you was doing it big. No, we had a little Microsoft, and we would burn our shit, and we would go to the club. So we used to listen to Jeezy was our club anthems. So when we would go out, I used to be going to teen clubs. He was still running shit, and then even when I started sneaking in the club, I told him that I was like, Jeezy, I can't believe I got a song with you because I remember my first time sneaking in the club. You was huge, like he was that nigga. I honestly wanted Jeezy on O, but he wanted to be on OK. That's what song I want him to be on. But Jeezy was like, nah, I want the single that's out right now. So
Yeah, you don't fight back, but you just go.
No, hell no. I was like, whatever. Like, give him the record. But I ain't gonna lie, a little bit, I was like, what fuck is Jeezy for to get on there and say? And when he sent it back, I was like, put him first. I'm like, put him first and put it out next week because I wanted to be a surprise for the project. But I'm like, put him first and put it out next week because I want my mom, my auntie, and that side of the family to know, like, that age group to say, like, you made it. That week, all the aunties was on my trail. They was writing me, they was texting me. My mama called me. Everybody, like, if they didn't think I made it no other time in my career, that Jeezy feature sent them through the roof. I said, oh, y'all love Jeezy. Like, they love Jeezy.
Oh, that's a great moment.
Yes, that was the, oh, baby, you doing your thing. I don't know about that other shit, but this shit right here is fire.
I love that.
Y'all give it up one time. JT, City Cinderella out now. Thank you for coming by the program.
Thanks, JT.
Yeah.